At the beginning of the film, we see Peter, who is doing well in school and is also helping others. He is with MJ, whom he likes. He is now thinking to purpose MJ. Peter goes to see MJ's musical performance, which she is doing for the first time. Harry, who is Peter's best friend, also arrives there, who knows his Spider-Man id. He considers Peter responsible for his father's death. He hates Peter, and Harry prepares himself in his father's lab to take revenge on after MJ's performance. Peter spends time with MJ. Peter's bike was covered in something black and sticky. A prisoner named Flint is shown reaching home while running. His wife insults him a lot. His wife asks him to leave. She doesn't want any problem to happen because of her husband. She asks her husband to leave because of it. His daughter still considers her father Flint a good human. She loves him a lot. She gives the locket of her picture to her father Flint. He leaves while saying he will bring money for her daughter's treatment. Peter goes to his aunt and tells her he likes MJ. He intends to propose to her, and Peter's aunt hands him the ring that his uncle gave to his aunt. With it, his aunt advises him. Harry attacks Peter when he was returning home. He takes him with him into the sky. There was a heavy fight between them. The ring falls down from Peter's hand. The ring was given by his aunt. He picks the ring while saving it from Harry. Peter wins after a long fight between them. He makes Harry fall down, but Peter can't leave Harry like this. He was his best friend. He transports him to the hospital, and when Harry awakens, he has forgotten everything from his past. The past in which he hates Peter. He considers Peter his best friend. The scene shifts to Flint, who reaches an experimental ground while escaping from the police. Some kind of experiment was going on here. Flint's body becomes like sand because of it. Due to it, the police couldn't see him. He changes into a strange monster. He again changes into a human because of his willpower and his daughter's locket. He discovers the sand will give him powers. On another side, MJ is shown arriving to meet Peter. She was upset because the reviews in her first performance weren't good enough. MJ becomes more depressed as a result of Peter's advice. Spider-Man receives a call for assistance before they can continue their talk. Spider-Man receives a call for assistance before they can continue their talk. He moves while leaving MJ there, and the scene shifts to the incident place. A machine was destroying everything because of losing its control. That's why the inspector's daughter was hanged with the building. The friend of the girl and news reporter Eddie also arrived there. But they couldn't save the girl from there. The Spider-Man enters and saves the girl easily. In the eyes of everyone, he is once again a hero. Eddie reaches his news office while taking pictures of the incident. It is discovered here Peter also does a job with Eddie. Peter's boss likes Eddie's pictures more than Peter. Peter's boss selects Eddie for his next project. Peter becomes furious at his boss. Peter thinks how his boss can ignore the old employee. His boss says the one who will bring the negative pictures of Spider-Man will get this project. On another side, Peter is shown taking Harry to the house after being discharged. They enjoy like before after becoming friends. Harry tries to remember his father after seeing his father's picture. Peter says he loved you a lot. MJ is shown terminated from the job. She was disheartened because of this. It is revealed that a march was planned for Spider-Man in order to save the girl. Peter meets MJ and she was disturbed. Peter was thinking, he left MJ that day, maybe she is disheartened because of it. He doesn't know MJ has been terminated from the job. Flint is shown moving in front of the police officers to check his powers. He defeats the police because of his sand powers and escapes from there. Spider-Man enters his march. The audience becomes happy. Meanwhile, Flint arrives and Spider-Man starts following him. The Spider-Man attacks Flint when he goes to take money from a van for his daughter's treatment. Now there is a heavy fight between the sand monster and Spider-Man. Flint leaves and Peter fixes a date for MJ. There he will purpose MJ. MJ was upset. Meanwhile, the girl arrives, the girl who was saved by Peter. MJ leaves while seeing them together. Peter couldn't purpose her. Peter goes to the police station with his aunt. They tell the person they were considering the murderer of Peter's uncle isn't, but Flint is the murderer. Peter leaves in anger when he discovers this. Peter has ended a wrong man, and when he discovers someone else has ended his uncle, he goes into deep guilt. Peter sends MJ back, being rude when she comes at night. Peter was sleeping while wearing Spider-Man costume. The sticky material, it spreads on his full body. Peter is shown with a new black costume. He was noticing his powers were also increasing. He was feeling strong. Peter goes to his professor to know about this material. Peter's professor tells him this isn't good sticky material. This survives with its partner. and it will be difficult to separate it if it stays with its partner. He asks Peter to stay away from the material. This material can be harmful to him. Reaching home, Peter finds Sand's nose ignoring his professor. He goes behind him while wearing the black costume. Eddie also arrives there. He tries to take Spider-Man pictures. Peter breaks his camera, being furious, and leaves. Spider-Man makes Flint remember his uncle. He hits him there. A fierce battle between them erupts once more. Spider-Man beats Flint a lot. Here, Spider-Man knows the weakness of Flint, that the sand dissolves because of water. He breaks the tanks of water. Flint dissolves in water and finishes. Peter is later depicted behaving rudely and nonsense as a result of the sticky stuff. Peter tells everything to his aunt. Spider-Man has ended the murderer of his uncle. Peter's aunt doesn't feel good hearing this. On another side, MJ is shown. She calls Harry, being irritated by her worries. They spend a good time together. Later, MJ leaves. As MJ leaves, Harry remembers everything. He remembers that Spider-Man is his enemy. To defeat him, he has to take MJ far from him. MJ returns home and receives a voice message from Peter. She becomes emotional hearing it. Meanwhile, Harry arrives and tells her that if she wants to save Peter, she must do what he says. MJ calls Peter as he said. MJ says to end the relationship after calling him. Hearing this, Peter becomes sad. He also shows MJ the ring with which he was about to propose. He tells her he wanted to spend his life with MJ. MJ says she likes someone else. Saying this, she leaves and Peter comes to his best friend Harry. He discovers that Harry is actually with MJ. Peter couldn't understand anything. He moves while leaving Harry. When he sees Harry through the window, he smiles and walks away. Peter becomes furious. He goes to Harry's house while wearing the black costume. The fight begins between them. Peter takes Harry to his father's lab while beating him. Peter severely injures Harry. He was leaving from there. Harry throws a bomb at Peter, but Peter escapes from the bomb. He throws the bomb at Harry. On another side, Peter discovers everyone is saying ill about Spider-Man. The reason is the pictures taken by Eddie. He goes to the office and becomes furious at Eddie. He tells the boss that his pictures aren't real but they are photoshopped. Eddie was terminated because of it. Because of the costume, Peter was transforming into an evil human. His professor tells him this costume isn't good for him. But Peter was enjoying his life. The scene shifts on Flint. He wasn't dead and changes into a human because of sand. Peter takes the girl to the club whom he saved. MJ was the singer there. He takes the girl there to make MJ jealous. The girl discovers that Peter is using her. She exits while apologizing to MJ. As Peter goes to talk to MJ, the club manager reaches there. He asks the guard to throw Peter out from there. Because of it, Peter starts fighting with it. MJ moves forward to stop Peter. Peter also hits her as well. MJ doesn't believe this. Peter also leaves, being worried. Peter goes to the church to remove the material from his costume. Meanwhile, Eddie arrives and he wishes to God that he wants to end Peter. The sticky substance then adheres to Eddie as he flees Peter. It changes him into a villain. The scene shifts and Peter's aunt comes to meet him. Peter returns the ring and says he isn't ready for all this. But while returning the ring, his aunt says, Peter, you are a good human. I do believe you will make everything fine. She leaves after saying this. The scene shifts to Flint and Eddie. They were combined. Eddie kidnaps MJ. He makes her sit in the taxi and hangs her while making a giant web. Flint was ruining everything to save MJ. Peter sees MJ in the news and reaches Harry in his Spider-Man costume. He notices Harry's one-sided face was destroyed because of the blast. Peter asks for help from Harry to save MJ. Harry refuses him, and when Peter leaves, Harry's servant tells him Peter is innocent. Your father took his own life. He says you should go to help your friends. MJ's taxi was about to fall down. Meanwhile, Peter arrives, but Eddie stops him to save MJ and holds him. MJ throws a stone at Eddie, and getting a chance, Spider-Man attacks Eddie. They fight in the air. A truck falls on MJ's taxi and due to it, she hangs in the web while coming out of the taxi. Before Spider-Man goes to save her, Flint changes into a huge monster. He attacks Spider-Man. Spider-Man escapes and goes to save MJ. Eddie stops Spider-Man and Flint comes in front of him as a huge monster. They make Spider-Man condition worse. Meanwhile, Harry arrives for his friend's help. Harry and Spider-Man save MJ while competing with them. They were fighting with Flint and Eddie. Harry blasts the sand monster and defeats him. On another side, Eddie was hitting Spider-Man. Harry sacrifices himself and saves Spider-Man while coming in front of Eddie. Spider-Man becomes furious seeing all this. He makes the sticky suit separate from Eddie with the help of a rod. The sticky suit changes into a giant monster. The Spider-Man blasts it. Eddie couldn't see this and he also blasts with that suit. He dies like this. Flint also arrives there and tells Peter he ended his uncle because he wanted money for his daughter's treatment. Peter forgives him while hearing this. In the end, Peter and MJ conduct Harry's funeral. They had found a solution to their problem and were reunited. This is the film's happy ending.